Hey, I'm Alexander, and today we'll take a look at the new hybrid IEM from Truthear called Hexa. This sample was kindly provided by Shenzhen Audio in exchange for my honest review. As always, I'm not paid to say anything in particular about the product, and all thoughts and opinions in today's episode are my own. Truthear is a new company in the IEM world, and it was founded in 2022. Their debut product, the Truthear Zero, was a joint effort with headphones reviewer Clinical, and it was generally received very positively. For those interested, you can check my review of Zero on the channel. Hexa is the second product from Truthear. It's a hybrid IEM that features a 10mm dynamic driver and 3 balanced armatures. The IEM currently retails for $79. The IEMs come in a medium-sized carton box. The sleeve has an anime waifu illustration on the front and a list of technical specifications along with the frequency response graph on the back. Inside the sleeve there is a stylish black box which says Hexa. In this box we have Truthear Hexa IEMs, 3 pairs of wide-bore silicone ear tips, 3 pairs of narrow-bore silicone ear tips, 1 pair of foam ear tips, soft pleather carrying case, user manual, and a warranty card. And I think that for a sub $100 IEM the package is quite generous. The IEMs use 4 drivers, 1 10mm dynamic driver with a liquid crystal polymer diaphragm, and 3 customized balanced armature drivers. Impedance of IEMs is 20 ohms, sensitivity is 120 dB. Cable is removable and it has 0.78mm 2-pin connectors. Now let's talk about design and build. The IEM shells have a quite unusual triangular shape, but they sit in the ears perfectly. The shells are made from 2 parts. The faceplate is made from a CNC machined aluminum, while the rest of the shell is made from a medical grade resin. The faceplates are attached to the shells with glue and 1 screw. The right faceplate carries Truthear logo. The faceplate uses a black dark matte paint, while the rest of the shells are dark colored that is transparent to some degree. And if you put IEMs in a strong light, you can partially see the driver configuration. The low frequencies of this IEM are handled by a 10mm dynamic driver, and mid-range and treble is covered by 3 customized balanced armatures. The shells also have L and R letters embossed on the inner parts to distinguish the left and right earpiece. The nozzles are made from resin, they're on a shorter side. But thanks to the unusual shape of the shells, the nozzle's insertion depth is above average. At the end of each nozzle there are 3 holes, 2 of which are covered with its own mesh. The only thing missing here is a small lip at the end of the nozzle that usually helps with ear tips retainment. Each shell also has a vent which is located near the connector, and the IEMs feature 2-pin connectors that are placed really conveniently. Now let's talk about fit and comfort. Despite the fact shells have quite an unusual shape, they are light and sit well in the ears. Manufacturer advertises that the shell's design is intentional, as it allows maximum compression of the shell cavity, thus providing lighter weight that leads to improved comfort. And I have to agree with that, as I had no problems finding a perfect fit with the included ear tips. I've been using this pair for long listening sessions and the comfort and ergonomics are excellent. Despite the fact the IEMs are vented, they also have a good level of sound isolation, which makes it a good pair, both for outdoor usage or on-stage monitoring. The cable that comes with this IEM is 1.2 meters long. It's a 4-core silver-plated cable with white splitter and a metal chin slider. It has an angled 3.5mm connector on one end and 2 0.78mm 2-pin connectors on the other ends. The connectors also have L and R letters respectively. The cable is quite thin and tangly, and in addition it has some microphonics. So using a better cable with this pair will improve the fit and increase the comfort. Now let's talk about the sound. Please note that all sound impressions that I am sharing on my channel are completely subjective, so please take them with a grain of salt. All tests in my review have been performed using the stock ear tips with narrow bores. The narrow bore stock ear tips slightly boost the low frequencies, while the wide bore ear tips increase the upper mid-range energy and provide additional air in a treble. Despite having a low impedance and high sensitivity, the IEMs love power. Weak sources can power them, but the IEM truly scales with more powerful sources, improving the dynamics and overall presentation. I had no issues driving this set from my Samsung Galaxy S10 that was able to bring this pair to my comfort levels of volume, but I had almost no headroom left. Pairing it even with a small DAC dongles significantly increases the headroom. The Hexa sound signature is quite rare in this price range, as most of the other IEMs are either following V-shape or are trying to follow a Harman curve. The sub-bass on this pair is well extended and has a fair amount of rumble and authority. I wouldn't call it neutral, as it's boosted a bit. It still goes quite deep and bass-heavy tracks sound engaging. Due to the tuning, the sub-bass is more prominent here than the mid-bass, and the mid-bass lacks some weight. It doesn't hit hard, so if you prefer heavy mid-bass impact, you might look elsewhere. Overall bass details and texture is average, but thanks to the bass speed and dynamics, busy musical passages don't sound muddy. As there is no bass bleed into mids, the mid-range is very clear, transparent and detailed. The lower mids have nice details and weight and sound quite natural, yet laid back. Upper mids are more forward and energetic without being harsh or sibilant. Layering is great. Vocals and instruments have natural timbre and are well positioned in the mix. Due to the nature of tuning, male vocals sometimes lack note weight, but overall the mid-range is well defined and it sounds natural without any typical metallic accents that some balanced armature configurations have sometimes. The treble on Hexa is well extended, energetic, but at the same time it's non-fatiguing. The treble has a good amount of air and sparkle, but it's not overly emphasized, adding necessary clarity to the overall mix. At the same time, the treble works really well with the overall tonality of this IEM, which makes this tuning very comfortable during long listening sessions. Hexa's soundstage is not the most expensive, and I would say it's average both in width and depth. Separation of instruments is definitely a strong part of this IEM, and it will be particularly appealing to those who look for inexpensive IEMs for professional work or on-stage monitoring. Resolution, detail retrieval as well as clarity on this IEM are pretty good for the price, pulling out all the necessary details from your music. Playing my guitar along with backing tracks using Hexa was a fantastic experience, and I think it will replace my long-used CCA C10, which I still consider one of the best hybrid IEMs under $50 US. Imaging on Hexa is also good, and I can easily locate everything within my music. Overall technicalities is definitely the part where the Hexa performed really well with their lightning-fast transients, detail retrieval, good imaging, great layering and excellent instrument separation. Let's summarize. The Hexa sound signature is quite rare in this price range, as most of the other IEMs are either following V-shaped or a Harman curve, and I especially like that the Hexa are highly coherent. They sound like a single driver set, with no audible peaks or dips. Pros: neutral tuning with a sub-bass boost, dynamic and engaging sound, excellent imaging and instrument separation, organic timbre, good and comfortable fit, great passive sound isolation, and decent accessories. Cons: mid-bass lacks impact, so it can be a deal-breaker for some people, stock cable is not the best, and IEMs love power and may lack dynamics and presentation when paired with a weak source. The Hexas are not perfect, but taking into consideration their pros, I can easily forget about their shortcomings. This pair stands out from a sub $100 IEM pack with its highly coherent sound and mostly neutral sound signature, making it a perfect pair for long listening sessions. In addition, it provides good isolation, excellent comfort, and what is even more important, excellent technical performance. I think Hexa is one of the best hybrid IEMs under $100 on the market today, and I can easily recommend this pair to anyone looking for a well-tuned budget hybrid IEM for professional work or long listening sessions. Alright guys, that's all from me for today, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to receive new video updates. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.